So, let me know how the audio is, because it looks real bad. Like, real bad. I don't know what's up with it, but it sounds right coming out of the mixer. It just seems to have an incredibly high noise floor. This is my unknowing face. Evening Wereworm. Oh, well. 1 second, because it is clearly clipping to hell right now. Is that improved? Maybe? Yes? No? Well, it looks real bad. I will review it. I'm sure my audio is all screwed up since I haven't, done this in a minute. But seriously, Wereworm, let me know if the audio is really bad. Okay, so that's enough of that. I need to get into this because it has been a hot minute. Yes, so I got some of these things. They came in the mail finally. Where is the focal plane? It's somewhere like here. These are NES dev carts. Wereworm says audio's fine, whatever. And I have a couple of them. And we're going to recover from our failure last time. Well, not last time. Last time I tried to start carving an NES cart out of some copperclad board, which, I mean, could have worked. But then these arrived. And I decided to be sane and start only streaming on ostensibly the weekends, but we had people over this weekend, so now it's today. So this will be the stream for the week, just FYI. So let us get to it. I have actually cleaned a little bit, which is kind of crazy. Oh, which one is it? It's been so long! Cool. Yeah, desk has been cleaned. Things have moved around. So I need to move around things, I guess. Because I'm working on another thing, but it's not related. It's a Christmas present. And it's almost November, so I better friggin' get my act together on this. Anyhow, let me get this out of our way, clear out some of this stuff, and get the old NES back onto the desk. Now that I've cleaned up, I don't know where to put this, because anywhere I put it, it will be a mess. The correct answer is always on top of a monitor somewhere. Okay, anyway. I need a trash can down here. Amazingly, I do not have a trash can down here. I mean, I don't know if that's really that amazing. You probably would not be surprised to learn that. And the annoying thing is, like, this is not trash. This is, like, stuff from an old project. These are the ends of zip ties. They are definitely trash. But I can't just, like, sweep everything into the garbage. And then you get the pileup that we have seen for, well, the entirety of the run of this channel. Okay, anyway, NES, it's down here. So, if you are just tuning in, Worm said, have you dry fitted the PCB cartridge? Does it fit? Heck yeah, it does. This is actually, oh no, this is the one I was playing with. So I've got I mean, of course, that's like one of the first things I did when these came in. I'm gonna have to work on this too. Do you like my Superman pants? Anyway, because there's shadow going on. But yeah, of course, like one of the first things I did was popped this bad boy open and popped this bad boy in, and that is the wrong way around, which I always do. But yeah, it works a treat. The board seems a touch thin, but I'm hoping when it's like actually when the cartridge is in the down position, it will all be good. But yeah, it's beautiful. You couldn't even tell. So the fun thing about this, which this just is going to tie back into where I was about to go with the, if you are just tuning in, I had a Super Mario Bros. 3 cartridge that had this crazy son of a gun plugged into the mask ROM and like tapped into one of the cartridge contacts, going over to some pins here. That was going over to this breakout boardy thing. That was how we were doing it before. That's how we were attaching peripherals, and we were attaching them to a Super Mario Bros. 3 cartridge, hence Super Mario Bros. 3. However, I shorted some stuff or something. I don't know. Crap got broke last time, and I went ahead and restored the Super Mario Bros. Cart just to... because I was like, oh, I probably fried some stuff on that cart. But no, turned out cart works just fine. One of the benefits that cart was doing for us was we were getting a free character ROM. We didn't have to put our own in and program our own sprites and stuff, or our own tiles. We just stole some crappy ones from Super Mario Brothers. Though Wereworm was complaining since the start that we should just make our own char ROM. And also it was doing a bunch of memory mapping stuff for us, and we were getting a bunch of free signals because of the glue logic, the MMC that was on the original cartridge, which is... that PCB is somewhere, and I seem to have... oh, it's over there. I'm not going to get it. Anyway, so the fun, shitty part that's going to take a while now to get us back into gear is that just getting this proto board is not good enough to, like, get us back to where we were. Like, I can't just, like, solder those wires to the buses on here. It is not good enough because there was lots of decoding going on before. For example, I'm actually not 100% on this, but the character ROM, for example. If we... doop. No, that was right the first time. If we go on over to... I am looking at the wrong monitor. Let's see, do I have that NES dev tab still up? Wrong memory map, though. That's funny. Let's see if we can get there through links. PPU. Memory map. Probably in the C also. Because I don't feel... I'm now using this crappy wireless keyboard because it is convenient. However, now I'm holding it in my hand, and all I can do is scroll and click, and typing will be a pain in the butt. But at least I can get it off my desk. No, there is no C also. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna have to Google for this. PPU memory map. But basically, the long and short is the tiles that are on the character ROM are only in the memory area from 0 to 2000 hex, as we can see. So I need to make sure I only enable the character ROM when accesses are in that range. So those top, like 7 bits, that's going to be fun. I have to use those top 7 bits if they are all 0 should I at all enable my character ROM. So we're going to need some glue logic for that. What else? I mean, generally for decoding the SRAM versus EEPROM versus FDC memory map registers, the mapping between the FDC and the EEPROM exists on this board still. It does. However, I want to change that mapping anyway. It's a whole thing. So I'm trying to decide, and still am at this moment trying to decide, how then I want to do this thing. Because I've still, of course, got some... where are they? They're not even in there. But some of those... I've got a couple kicking around. So, excuse me. 16V8... 18s? 8V... No, 8V16. No, 16V8s. Gals. That we've used for, like, everything. Could use that. But I'm running low on them. What else? Because I have a bunch of random chips, but, like, whether they are useful... where is... I am looking for... I have... Oh, no, they're in the miscellaneous ICs drawer. Somewhere on here, I know I have. We have talked about using them for stuff before. I don't know if they'll really be that useful for this, but they might be. And of course now I can't find them. Oh, yes. 74138. There's a couple on here. And those, well, let me look up the guy again. They're supposed to be basically address decoders, so it could be useful, but I can't remember how many inputs it has. If it has at least 7 inputs, that could be pretty great for doing character ROM decoding. And then I have to decide what I'm using for character ROM. If I have something that is fast enough. I mean, hopefully. We'll see. Yet another fun design issue I have here is, so you'd think I could like prototype a bunch of stuff on here, like put all of our glue logic that we need to do on this board, and you totes could, except for the fact that I would really like to socket some stuff, especially if I was going to do any programmable logic on here. I'd want to socket it so that I can reprogram it as I'm messing around. But there is, once you put this in the cartridge, there is no room for sockets. It's just not high enough. Just not enough, vertical space in there. So, basically. Yeah. So that is kind of shitty. So I have to decide on that. Another reason why using these decoder chips might be good if I can get away with it, because, like, at worst, I could desolder them and rewire stuff. But if I could not use programmable logic, that would be cool. Because it's more flexible, but I would really want to socket it. Because otherwise I'm going to be able to like program it once, and then I get nothing ever again. So yeah, I hear my Discord pinging me. Oh, just AIO Incorporated talking about MFM hard drives and eBay. Let me make sure, because you guys are supposed to be my primary folks here. And I have not even shared the link to the place. Here, you can watch me do it. Ooh, there we go. Let's see, track 0. I mean, everybody's probably already on here that wanted to be on here, but live, refresh. Copy link. Paste it in Discord. Yo, I'm live BT dubs. There you go. Okay, now everyone has been serviced. Yes, so I guess we can just stay here because I want to look up the 74138s again because I always forget what each of my chips does. So let's see if I can use these for char ROM, maybe other things. 741. Nope. What am I doing? 138. Pin out. I totally got that right? Yes? No? Maybe so? Going crazy. The answer is yes, of course. Oh, right there. Yes, 74138. Let's look at someone's shitty pinout. We have address. Okay, interesting. So, right, it does a bunch of funky things, much like a lot of the 74 series stuff do, for flexibility's sake. So, oh no, it's a decoder. It's basically a 3 to 8 decoder with a bunch of enable inputs. Looks like I get 7, basically. So yeah, depending on how you wire up the outputs can really make this thing quite flexible. But doesn't really have the full 7 that I would be looking for. Well, actually. So if I put addresses Well, so this gets tricky. I can put some of the high address lines on the address lines, and then, for example, if my top 3 bits are 000, then that would ostensibly enable output pin 0. But then I could also not have that happen by tying more address lines to the enable inputs. But then I have this one active high enable input where I'd really need to invert things, so that's not ideal. It would be nice if I had some, like, 8 input NANDs. That would be really ideal. The only thing, because I don't know my chips very well, and I have 7486s, which I don't think are them, but let's see. It's the only thing that I don't quite know what it is off the top of my head. No, there's OR gates. That's fun. Yes, so I've got 7486s, 74574, which is a flippity floppity, 7411. That's some kind of basic gate. I mean, we're getting closer. It's a 3-input AND gate. AT Mega 328s, that's not going to help me. Max 232s, that's not going to help me. 7408, could be. Nope, that's just AND gates. 16 V8s. 74245, which is a bus transceiver. I've got SRAMs, I've got EEPROMs, I've got UARTs, I've got CPLDs, I've got 7400s, which are just straight up NAND gates. I've got 7474s, which are flip-flops. I've got 7402s, which are OR gates? NOR gates. And 7404s, which might be OR gates. No, they're inverters. And that is pretty much it. Like, everything after that is Garbo. Do I have anything interesting on here? Because I really thought I had some of them fancy 8-input NANDs, which would really be the perfect thing here. 74374, I think that's another flip-flop. A flippity-floppity. 7400s, 138s, 100s, 74, that's another flip-flop. 100, 100, 138, 100, 100, 02, 74, 74. Let me check the Discord, because... Oh, also I see some messages in YouTube chat. Just see if anybody is having some thoughts that I am not having. Oh, no, I'm getting DMs. Don't, let's not share that then. It is probably my side lovers. And, oh, Dave is with us. So firstly, I don't know if I ever mentioned, Patrick Burke said, what it do, baby girl? And, it do good, Patrick. It do real good. But it do better. Dave says, I'm still in char ram hell and not gonna get it fixed before my vacation. I'm sorry, Dave, but that means that the race is on for me to get character ROM working before your character RAM. Wareham says, maybe PLCC is low profile enough to have socketed ICs in the cartridge. I was thinking the same thing, because I think... actually, I'm not sure. Dave is doing a PLCC. I think one of his parts is PLCC. But I don't think it's socketed, it now occurs to me. But I was thinking the same, is that it might be... But, I mean, I don't have any... Unless I did one of the lattice CPLDs that I do have in PLCC format, and I suppose that would work, but no. Wareham says diode logic. Like, I'm thinking about that kind of stuff at this point, but it'd probably be pretty slow. The only diodes I have are power diodes. So, and Dave says my PLCC 84 is soldered down. I thought so. Right. So. The problem is I also need speed. This is why programmable logic. Because like I really wouldn't want to just like cascade a bunch of NAND gates, because the more you put in line, the more delay you get. And not that this is a wickedly fast thing, but it adds up fast. What are my other options? It's really looking like my options are pretty much put another frickin' PLCC on here. Which is kind of... I feel like that's kind of where we're at. I think I might just have to keep populating this board and just run wires out of that board and then just deal with it. I think that is what I'll do. Thankfully, I bought a bunch more sockets. But yeah. So, the shitty thing is I will have to run more wires for the character bus. That would be shitty. I would really love to be able to do character ROM on the frickin' card. I'm just thinking. It just saves so much, because then the rest is basically program ROM stuff that we already have over on this board, and we don't have to think about it. Is there any fun way that I could use, like a bus transceiver? Again, cascading a bus transceiver off of like a decoder or something, gonna be slow. There must be a way. Surely there is a way. Where there is a will. Dave says 22 V10s are badass. I've been thinking about getting some. But actually too fast for having anything writable above 8,000 due to the skew between M2 and ROM select. Interesting. Dave says use a 555. I think I have one 555 sitting around somewhere. Yeah. It's been ticking me off for a while, because like I swear to God that I had a whole bunch more ICs that now I don't know where they are. Useful ones. Is it an option? Because one thing I was thinking is for getting a character ROM working, right? Basically, the long and short of... Oh, I can't put the character ROM in the cart. Either way, it needs to be socketed. I have to be able to reprogram that. Balls! So, I mean, I still probably will do this for testing, but I can probably test the character ROM even before... maybe not. I was going to say before I test the program ROM, because if I just fill it all up with the same tile, it doesn't matter what garbage is in memory, they'll all show the same tile, but you have to turn rendering on. That's a step, an initialization step. So that also doesn't work. Yeah. I thought we were going to be good to go, y'all. Welp. We could do some things. And some stuff. This is why I should pre-think before the stream. I'm thinking maybe we can breadboard some shit first. Because I was thinking if we use the programmable logic and breadboard stuff first, then I can move all the... Once I have that squared away, I can just move it over onto the cartridge and be done with it. So maybe I will still do that. It's just the shitty thing either way is that I kind of need them both, program and character. Because I need character to display anything on the screen. I suppose with the program ROM I can do that kind of using the controller for I/O thing to prove that that's working. So that might be the way to go. And that will be the easier way to get started here, because again, I should basically just have to run the signals I already had going over here. I don't think it would be more complex than that. So anyway, let me switch my camera now that I've kind of thought through my decision here. And we'll start there, because I don't have to strictly have character ROM when we start out here. And I've already got a chip here that can do some of my memory decoding for me. And the very nice thing is on the cartridge, there is, well, you'll never be able to see this, but there is a ROM select line on here. It would be so nice if there was also such a line for, well, I don't know. I was going to say if there was such a line for the PPU, but there's a signal card called PPU read. And, and there is PPU write as well. So surely those are asserted on any access to the PPU address space. Might just do some research to see if, because I'm curious if these pins even get asserted for anything besides, or if there's like a bus transceiver, glitchy, bus transceiver between the cart and the PPU bus. Probably not. Probably not. Anyway, we're not worrying about that right now. We're not. There's ROM select, and thankfully I should just be able to use ROM select. That'll tell me if I'm in... Sorry, I need to check this again. ROM select shows me that I'm in, I think, that high 4,000 area. Cartridge. Carrot. Yes, cartridge connector, please. And they start out with the Famicom because they want to trick me. ROM select. So that is in the area from 8,000 to FFFF. That is not... well, I mean, we can use that for now. It's the logical NAND of M2 and CPU A15. Interesting. So I can use that for some stuff. It's a good thing we're using programmable logic here, because I'll probably want to change that. But because we need this whole extended memory space for our big-ass SRAM and whatnot, and I really probably want to keep the ROM area pretty small. So we'll probably add more logic to that. But for now, to get this thing frickin' booting again, I'll just need to make sure I run ROM select, and then pretty much the address and data lines. And I think that's enough for now. I'll need to re-look at what we were using the... what all we were decoding with this. I mean, I know it was doing some address lines and stuff, but I mean, we're going to need to edit it a bit anyway. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to reverse engineer some of these. So let's just start wiring wires and wire up the old data bus. And that's going to be the fun time. And I'm going to read some chat because I know people are telling me some good shit in there. But for now, I just need to clean up some of these wires. Who knows if we'll get further than doing that today. But while I am doing this, this is still a very cold iron. Redgeck said, have you considered building your logic out of thermionic valves? Also, hello. Hello, Redgeck. I don't have any around and convenient, but, you know, it's a thought. Dave says, PPU has separate read and write. Normally, PPU A13 is wired to CI RAM chip enable. I was wondering what the heck that signal is for. I've never actually read it. I realized I was just there, but... and PPU A13 is wired to character ROM chip enable. PPU A13 not inverted. So I saw that there was, while this is heating up, there is a A13 So there's only A13 and no, there is A13 inverted and A13 not inverted. Interesting. Oh, wait, I get it now. Okay, so that might not be so bad because I forgot the PPU address space is not a 16-bit address space. It is probably a 14-bit address space. Right. So it's not 7 bits that I need to decode. Okay. This improves on things. Good to know. Anyway, still starting with the program ROM. Or rather, just the general CPU address space, seeing as there's more than ROM that's going to be going on here. And this is going to be fun because there's... this wiring harness is wired to the JEDEC standard of layout. Which there is some rhyme or reason to, but, you know, not that much. So, I think I will just have to plug it into the board, and, well, I'll have to look at pinouts of the ROM to look at what address and data shit goes where. But yeah, the tricky bit here is that, again, I don't get some of the enable signals that were helping this out because I was using the MMU to enable myself here. There was basically a ROM chip enable from the mapper chip that I don't have now. And the main thing is that you really don't want this thing... anything on this card responding to anything in the address range of, you know, peripherals that are in the NES. Twould be bad. But I think between having ROM CE and some of the high address lines, it'll be no problem. Also, I have to remember there are some address lines on here that are not actually available on the NES cartridge because they are like virtual address lines that are coming out of the mapper. Because actually the address space on the other side of the mapper, for those who haven't been following along, at least on the Super Mario Bros. 3 mapper, I mean, I guess every mapper, any kind of bake switched anything, is larger than what is on the CPU side. So I actually probably have an excess of address lines here, which is kind of a good thing. Because I don't need that much ROM area here. And I don't really, I wasn't bank switching things before. I don't plan to bank switch things now. Yeah. So this, you know, this ain't so bad, I think. Except for the mind-numbing part where you have to watch me resolder stuff. Okay, so. I think what I'm just gonna do, like a lazy son of a bitch, even though this would be straight through. Oh, and I did mark pin 1. That's cool. I'm just gonna plug these in, and whatever, doesn't friggin' matter. And literally just like check which connection goes. I mean, they like go 1-to-1 to this chip more or less, but it's not completely straight through. So I will probably just buzz each one out, figure out which line it is, and then solder it onto the cartridge like a maniac. Like a maniac. And I'm going to resolder this no connect because who knows, it might be useful someday. Sorry, I know all you can probably see is my head. Come on, you son of a bitch bastard. Cool, whatever, I don't really care. All right, let me bring up the old... Oh, do I have... Yeah, I have display capture on here. It's somewhere, hiding, off screen, in the ether. Is this it? That's it. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that up here, so you have something to look at whilst I do this. And let us look up. I have already forgotten the name of this chip again. Oh, do I have a past search window up? That would be nice. See DOS 65 stuff. I know this is tiny, you can't see any of it. I am sure. User's guide for my assembler. 6502 instruction set. Interrupts. Boy, the stuff I choose to leave open. None of it really useful. That is a data sheet for a memory chip that I'm not using right now. Okay, what is this? This is a... I know there's a JetX standard. I know it. I know. Get off my back. 299E010. 299E010. Datasheet. Datasheet PDFs.com. It's the place to go when you need datasheet PDFs. I'm gonna click this link and hope it's not a virus. I know I've already downloaded this before. Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? Save as. There we go. Let's just save it over the one that certainly we already have. Yes, I would love to replace it. There we go. Okay. And now we can go to the pinout, and I can zoom in on that, and then you will have something to see. Oh, you will have something to see. But also me. Okay, that's good enough. Whatever. Good enough. I can see it all. And let me restore my OBS window so that I can actually see chat. Because I saw that there were a couple more. No, I lied. There are no more, which is just fine for me, because that means I can focus on the work. I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively tin all of the connections on here. Faster to do that in one go. I mean, it's only 72 pins. How long could this take, you know? And of course, ideally, I would just put all of this stuff on the prototype cartridge. That would be super cool. Oh, there's a cat! There's a cat! Oh no. Cat, I'm soldering. Oh no, cat! For all of you who have been missing Cat, Cat is here. He's made his triumphant return. What was it saying? 72 pins? Yeah, no problem. Oh, right, but I'm definitely gonna... I know I'm gonna mess up. I mean, you've seen how this project's gone so far. I am going to mess up. So I dasn't dare start putting stuff on this board. I dasn't. 'Twould be folly. But it would be cool at some point, because this is one of the reasons that I bought 2 of these prototyping cards is... What is going on with this solder? Is that... You know, when I have this in a somewhat working state, would be cool then at that point to consolidate it down. We'd see, I have to get 2 ROMs on here, the floppy controller, connector for the floppy controller, probably a couple programmable logic chips, the clock for the floppy controller. Might be possible. Would be cool. I mean, at that point, I would probably might start just thinking about having a board done, because that's fun. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, it would be fun to consolidate. Alright, that is half of them. Are you ready for the other half? It's going to be very exciting. And the cat is huffing fumes over here. Having a great time. And you say, why don't you just put headers in those holes? And I say, because there is no height in this cartridge. I don't know if I've expressed that enough. None. So we're just soldering shit straight to the goddamn thing. And also the fun thing is, because he'd say, well, you know, maybe you can take them out later, or, you know, maybe just don't close the cartridge case and mount sockets to the top. Why not? It's because I mean, the way that the NES is designed with the whole cartridge load thing, you really, I mean, you saw how I was doing it before, maybe, when I did not have the Super Mario Brothers 3 cartridge by Cat, back in the case. I would have to, like, go back to doing the old tweezers shoved in there to keep the cartridge in deal, and we're not going back to that. I've come too far. I have some pride. Very little, but some. Oh, let's see if I can perfectly use my last little bit of solder. Come on, bro. 3 more pads to go. Burning my little fingies, but we're gonna do it. Oh yeah, there it is. Perfect. Thank you, hardware store solder. Your sacrifice was not in vain. Sorry, I'm bumping all the shit. For tube of solder number 2, look, there's the Superman pants again. Classic, good times. Let's see. Wareham said, maybe TL866 to NES card slot adapter would eliminate the need for sockets on the cartridge. I laugh, but you're not joking. And I thought about that for a hot second when I was sitting here looking at it, thinking about stuff. It's a thought. Because, like, I could even use one of the expansion pins on here to, like, drive signals that aren't available on the cart. Might be cool. And then that wouldn't mess up the NES because they just connect to the bottom of the NES, so no harm, no foul. But here's the thing: don't have a socket for this, and this is not 0.100 spacing. Where I'm said, or just a pin header on the card to plug in a cable from the programmer. Yeah, again, I had the same thought, just like putting some pins. I just is what I say. And Samuel Flint says, afternoon. Good afternoon, Samuel Flint. You are joining us for a good soldering time. Or at least a soldering time. I can't really make any comment as to how good it will be. I still have, hiding over here, the classic, unfixed, because I couldn't be asked to just find a piece of... You know what, the iron is on right now. Let's just fix this right now. Now, I realize I should have a fuse in here. A fuse is a good thing to have. Oh, you know what I'll do? Shit. I think I threw away the fuse. Yeah. This is why you shouldn't clean up your stuff. Because I was going to say, I have the broken fuse, and I could just solder a wire between the two ends and not have to solder directly to this thing, but too late. It looks like soldering directly to this is what I'm going to have to do. Oh well. My hand has been forced. But yeah, I have been using this thing like this on a relatively active basis. Judge me if you will, but I've been getting shit done. Anyway, I was saying, obviously I should have a fuse on this because, you know, like if I ever put a load into this, No, you know what? I'm gonna defend myself here. This is a $15 hardware store, like home electrical work multimeter. If I manage to explode it by like overvolting the inputs, that is zero loss. So no, I'm not going to apologize about taking the fuse out of this thing. If it was a nice multimeter, hello Vlad, then I might potentially give a shit, but here's the thing, I don't. There. Having some balls today. Or whatever genitals you choose to believe are strong. Having dem ovaries today. Ringkick says, nice lighting effects. It's the hackers. Okay, anyway, these are tinned. I have my thingy. Are we ready for beeps? I'm gonna need to hear some beeps as I figure out what's connected to what. So, let's start with the obvious simple things, which is getting power over this thing. So, 32 is my... Now, I should make sure not to screw this up. It's because I don't trust myself. It's VDD, which is voltage drain, which is my positive voltage, correct? Yes. Yes. Tis. I am quite sure of it. You know how I can check? Because I'm a paranoid person, is I know what it is on this chip. And it's over here. And yes, they are connected. Good. Very good. So, that is my 5 volts. That is pin 32. That is... Let's just make sure I also did this the right way around. So that should be this wire. Hello, Vlad, again. I know. You got my attention the first time. Yes, cool. I can remember how this worked, kind of. So, this should go to VCC, and I'm probably going to want to really rip these up because they're going to go all kinds of weird places now. Let us scoot the keyboard. Let me just set the keyboard down. There is no need for the keyboard at this juncture. So I shall put it on the biggest shelf of the house. Oh, only streaming for 47 minutes. That's pretty good. Can't complain about that. Okay, VCC. Here we go. I have fluxed this thing down to the table. Good job. There, at the very least, I can get the wire into the hole a little bit for some mechanical advantage. Alright, there's our VCC. Next one in line, because these are actually in... Well, no, they're not in the same order as this. They're in the order that they were on the mask run, which was not quite JEDEC compliant. So 31 is probably not connected to anything, because that's right enable. Shoot, see, this is the reason why I have to do it this way, because... Oh, you know what I can do? What am I thinking? What I should have done? Oh God, how did I do that? Sorry, y'all. Let's just put that back where it belongs. This is cool and all. I think it's just overheating. It hasn't been doing this in a while. It's very strange when it decides to do this. Or it's possibly that my switches are doing a software update, and like just repeatedly failing at it. Anyway, I was looking for... There is definitely a page on Super Mario Brothers 3 mask ROM pinout. That's just what I should do, because that's what these wires should correspond to. Must include Super Mario Brothers 3. I don't know why I'm not finding this. I have definitely found it many times before. Super Mario Bros. 3. Yes, here we go. And this won't give me some signals, but it should give me enough that this will go slightly faster. I'm just going to ignore it from now on. Y'all can take a drink every time that happens if you want. Okay, so ignore. Actually, that's not true. This was my read write. So I can use this. Because I had stolen that pin. CPU read write over here. V good. Alright, next one is... I wasn't looking at the screen. I love the way the exposure compensation just goes insane. That's very fun. Okay. A14, which there is going to be an A14. Oh. Sorry, just thinking. Do I really really want... Here's what I'm going to do. Because I was going to say, do I want to connect up the actual... Do I want to connect A14 to A14? Because the way the mask ROM was set up, and the way that this circuit was set up, A14 was, again, coming from the mapper, the MMU, the bank switching logic. So A14 wasn't coming from the console, it was specific to the mask ROM. If I run A14 over to there, then I have it for my own decoding purposes, but I am going to want to detach it from this ROM chip, because I do not want to have access to the whole chip. I want separate areas. So I will wire it up, but then remind me to disconnect it from the actual EEPROM and replace those with ties to, I guess VCC, because I will want that to be mapped to always reading the highest portion of the ROM, because that's where my boot vectors are, and that's where all my code thinks it is right now. So CPU A14, here we are. You have found your home. And then the next one is A13. I'm just going to keep going based on that premise. A13, here we go. Hello, Vlad. Oh, I said I wasn't going to comment anymore. After that up, A8. Over here. A9. I was kind of worried we wouldn't get much done today, but you know what? This is cruising. I think we might, at the very least, get program ROM executing today. Because I'm thinking, like, I was kind of saying, A11, by the way. I was kind of saying when I was making my decision to switch to just one stream per weekend. I'm going to do one longer stream, like a nice 2-hour stream, because with a 2-hour stream, I actually get shit done, because there's, you know, a bit of overhead for intro and outro and me gabbing and setting things up. A16. There is no A16. Joke's on you. So, just doing, like, I feel like I actually get as much done, or close to as much done, in one nice 2-hour stream, given the overhead, as I do in a week's worth of 1-hour streams. So, anyway, probably going to do more of a 2-hour stream today. Oh, Wereworm says, as an aside, didn't I see you use such a clip thing to clamp on top of a dip chip? Would work for programming this chip in situ. Yes, that's actually right here. Yeah, la la la. Can I get it all the way over onto camera? Maybe not. It's for logic analyzers. They're pretty dope. And yeah, that's a thought. The only problem is, of course, you have to. It's in circuit, so you're gonna end up backfeeding some shit. That's an idea. That's an idea. Let's get the program side stuff, the CPU side stuff working, and then we can start having dumb ideas. So A16 doesn't exist. A10 is conveniently next to A11. amazingly. Chip enable. What was this even tied to? I guess I will tie this to ROM select. Because this was the ROM chip enable from the mapper. So kind of similar here, except we don't have our virtual / bank switched address space going on. All right, D7. D7. D6. Here, these should be able to all go together. D6. There is my head. Thank you for seeing it. Let me know if I got a bald spot going on yet or what. Not really worried about it, I just want to know. D5. I hope that makes the stream like 10 times more radical. Come on, you can do it. Get in there, little D5. Come on. Come on. Don't make me reclip and restrip you. With all your strands coming apart on me. I don't want to. Because once you start restripping this shit, then you've got wires that are bonded to each other that are different lengths, and it starts getting real effy real fast. Not that this isn't already effy, but you know. The less effy, the better. Alright, D4. My favorite part is that it only does it, it hasn't done it until I've done my first stream in like almost 2 weeks. D3. Not that I'm commenting on anything. Okie dokie. Over to the other side. We're going to break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. We're going to break on through to the other side. Break on through. The other side, and this should be ground. Let's double check that to make sure I am coming at it from the right side. Ground, ground, sick. And there's a ground right here, there's a ground right here. I'm gonna solder up my ground to this thing here. There it is. Okay, and we should be back. Data lines, yes, D2. The less mighty ducks. D1. Und. D0. Oh, that one got a little fucked up. Same shit. Strands coming apart. Everyone going crazy. Don't split up. Don't split up. Stay together. You have so much going for you. Remember why you fell in love in the first place. There we go. Now that's a love story. Okay. What do we have next? More address lines. A0. Oh, this is gonna get really messy. A0, A0. And these should all be in order up through A7. So A0. A1. A2. A3. And here is also me trying not to melt the living shit out of everything. Oh, let's just remove this one entirely. It's a tangle, a real old mangle. It's a tangly-doo. Yeah, that didn't help me for shit. Oh, now I'm just weaving. Here. That seems unbelievable. Okay, whatever. That's a thing. Right, we were on A4. A5. A6. A7. And that was where we stopped being sequential. Also hoping not to snap any of these wires. Oh, cat! That was poor timing on your part. You're lucky to be alive, boy. Okay. A7. And then it goes to A12, I believe? Yes, it does. A12, A15, A18, A17. So 12 is the only one that... Well, yeah. I'll be using A15. So... 12 and 15. 12 is somewhere. Now we have to find it. Oh, here we go. A12 is this wire. Oh, thank God these are the last two. I am feeling it physically with the amount of wires going on right now. All right, there's A12 and A15. There is no A15 on the cartridge connector. That makes sense. Really? I mean, that does make sense, but that just means that you lose an entire half of the address space. Oh, that's a pisser, actually. Yes, because that means... I mean, I guess that's not potentially that bad, but we were thinking... Oh, beep, by the way, Wereworm says. Thank you. I don't know if Dave is still around, but maybe he could chime in on this since he's been doing his own design shit. Unless my eyes do thoroughly deceive me, there is no A15 for the CPU on the cartridge connector. But I thought he was trying to map some of the area from 4000 and up, and you cannot do that. That explains why they say the cartridge space is from 8000 to the end of memory, because it would be. If you don't have, if you're, what did they say? That ROM select is probably A15 and a clock. Remembering my key combinations, there we go. Yeah, let us remember what they said. ROM select was, yeah, M2 and CPU A15. So you could theoretically recover A15, because I believe the clock is on there. Yeah, it's called sys. Oh no, yeah, M2 is right there. So theoretically, you could recover the system clock, or you could recover A15 by, reversing that operation. But do I care to? Maybe at some point. It would be... this is probably why Dave is having some of the issues he's saying, because he's talking about the M2 and ROM select clock skew. Right, now I understand what he is talking about. That makes sense. Because he's trying to decode A15, and that is probably causing him some trouble, and I bet that's exactly how he's trying to do it. So anyway, that means that we have 32K of accessible space on the cartridge, Oh, hey, Dave. Were your ears burning? Because I was just talking about you. I just came to understand, I think, some of the design issues, or some of the stuff you've been talking about design issues-wise, because I didn't realize until I actually started soldering crap onto this connector that there is no A15 available on the card edge. So I'm assuming you're recovering A15 by using M2 and the ROM select signal. Yeah? And that's what's causing you problems, is the skew between those two signals. Makes sense. I get it. Anyway, so I was just bitching about how I am, not going to, with this setup, unless I do something like that, which I'm not going to right now, be able to recover A15. So I only have the upper 32K, which is probably fine for my purposes. Just makes my address decoding a little more painful. Not that much more painful. A little more painful. A little. Especially, it shouldn't be so... I mean, I'll just get back into it. But it shouldn't be so bad because a bunch of the stuff that I was doing for stupid, dumb reasons that I'm not going to anymore on the... I'll just go back to this camera. On the doodly-doo, this 16V8 that I was using to do a bunch of the decoding on here, I don't really need to. Because on top of everything else, from reading the datasheet, I feel comfortable after all the futzing around that we did getting this stupid reset thing to kind of do something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't friggin' matter. I probably could get that working now. A little easier even. But anyway, now, the point that I was going to get at is that I might even have more available pins to use for address decoding on here. So it's just, the more pins you have available, the smaller your kind of regions, your blocks of memory that you can decode are. And I need a region for the FDC, I need a region for ROM, I need a region for RAM. And the big thing is RAM. I want to have as much space as I can for RAM. And so the smaller I can make those blocks, the bigger I can make the RAM. We'll just have to see what I can do. It is what it is. I have all the signals I can basically get out of here now. I don't need sysclock because I'm just going to be using the ROM select, not sysclock, the M2, which is the 6502 clock. So we're just going to use that. So I think at this point, this is pretty much ready to go. Let me clip these guys because they're just going to be floating around. There are a few pins that we didn't end up using because they don't exist for our purposes. Oh god, these scissors suck ass. There we go. And I just don't want them all shorting out on each other. So there you go. Cleaned. All right, so yes. Anyway, at this point, I can attempt to get this back in the cartridge and attempt to... first, I have to fictionalate some number of address lines on there. I'll have to puzzle that one out. Oh man, and I should mark this as well because these don't come nicely out of the cartridge in a fixed way anymore. And I'm probably going to get twisted around. Do I have a Sharpie of a different color? I think I do. So I'll just mark pin 1 again, except it's not pin 1, it's pin something the F else. Let's see. It's going to be this one, and that one is that one was my VCC. VCC was pin 32, that tracks, yeah. Pin 32 is up here. Anyway, yes, so plug this in. Remove some address lines from the ROM that's on the board, or rather from the socket, really. Change around, possibly run some new different lines to the decode logic, and to address the fact that our our address lines are kind of funky and different now. Which even then, actually, I shouldn't have to do much, because the only thing that would really affect is the ROM, and I'm removing the lines for that. Right. So, oh, there's another one I need to clip. I think. Hopefully, that's not a wire that has popped off. Doesn't look like it. Shoot. There you go. Get off of my board. Hey, you. Get off of my board. And of course, this is bad juju trying to close up the case before I even know that this works. But I operate on bad juju. Bad juju is, in fact, my middle name. Oh. Squishing wires against one of the alignment features here. Okay. All right. Okay. And of course now the board has popped out of place again. To be expected. Come on, bro. I've got wires trying to peek out of the side because of course they would. They're just trying to escape. They just want to live their lives. I cannot blame them. Lordy, lordy, look who's 40. This one wire just really wants to escape, and it is ruining my day. Stay there. Everything is fine, okay? This is going just fine. I'm sure I haven't broken any of the solder joints. Certainly none of the wires themselves. That would be... There's no way. Oh! Yeah! Yeah! Okay, now I just need to... There are my screws. Yeah. Hi-ya. Worm says, I think the NES needs some serious redesign. You know what? I think it's time we all admitted that. This design feels like it's 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're 40 years old, whatever it is. It's something stupid. Santiago says, hey, late as always. Don't worry about it, Santiago. This is going to be... We're at an hour 13. I'm shooting for 2. Okay, so there's that. But this is not just going to work, even if everything is soldered up correctly and I haven't broken anything. Like I said, this ROM is attached to address lines that it's not expecting to... be doing stuff. So I need to reconnect some of them. Let's see. So let me pull up the other pinout again. Here we are. So this is the actual pinout for this ROM, this EEPROM. And I need to disconnect. Oh, let's think about this. We have to decide how much of this ROM I want to expose, which will probably change a little bit later. But we could do... trying to think. So it's already going to be 32K. Let's see. There's definitely address lines 15 and 16 on here, which is, I guess this is 128K EEPROM. So I can definitely get rid of those, because even if I was using my full available address space, those are not connected. So let's see, that is pins 2 and 3, and this thing is backwards. Yep, those look likely. So let's just get rid of those. They do not exist. That is a 16. This is a 15. Gone. Okay, so now, assuming that I went back and tied those high, which I will do in a minute here, that means that my ROM is mapped to the high 32K of my ROM is mapped to the high 32K of the NES's address space. So that it covers the entirety of program ROM space right now. This might be a good place to pause, actually, and let me tie those high and double check what is actually still attached to the... Get rid of this stupid friggin' thing. Did I ever finish the thought on why I don't need this reset circuit anymore? Or this one pin GPIO? It is because I'm fairly certain, after dealing with the FDC for an amount of time, that the software reset is sufficient. Doing a software reset is the same as doing the hardware reset. You don't actually need to physically do the hardware reset. Anyway, yes, refigure out what's all attached here, and literally just map that high 32K, and it should boot our code. It should just do that. Now, I'm still going to want to shrink up that area as we move forward, but yeah, basically passing the ROM select signal straight through the chip enable, and that's it, is how we can start with this and confirm that I have actually wired up things correctly, and this friggin' pin has come unsoldered. Probably because there's not really any solder on the wire now that I'm seeing it. We'll solve you. We will solve you, Mr. Pin. So, yes, let's do that. Review. What is on here? We've got... We're going to need to do some more beeps. Speaking of, I got to Santiago and didn't really get further than that. Francois Reval said plop, which I think is just him showing up. Oh, and Francois says, busy preparing a Scratch workshop for tomorrow. Not that I guess it should be particularly news, but I have never used Scratch. Now that I have a child, I feel like I should poke at it. But, you know, I'm just going to teach my child assembly, so kind of defeats the purpose. And Red Gex said, all right, mate, gotta go, and I am getting super late to it, so hopefully maybe you rewatch the rest of this, because you're one of the real ones, so see ya. Don't drop your electrons out from your chips with all that flapping around. Thank you for that parting note, Red Gex. All right. So, yes, what do we have hooked up here? We've got power. We've got, right, this weird thing where, let's see, this wire is going in here and then being jumped over to another thing for some reason. No, this wire. So what is this? I've certainly just wired, but I have no idea what it is. So that is on, what is that going to be? That is Mask ROM pin 31. What are you? I didn't ask you, Cat. I did not ask you. Interesting. Oh, right, because that was, is that my read-write signal? No way. Was it my, like, system clock signal? Did I run the system clock signal over here? I guess I must have. Wait, no. It was like SRAM chip select or something weird. Anyway, there's nothing coming down this way right now, so I'm just going to remove the whole thing. Everybody, welcome back. Cat, which is not his name. I don't know if I've ever said this cat's name on stream, but I'm just going to let y'all just guess. You can just guess this cat's name. Go for it. If you guess it, good for you. All right. This is, I believe, the floppy reset, which whatever, don't care right now. This is probably the floppy chip select. That's good, still need that. This is coming in from the cable. And it's hard to tell which one it is. Okay. It is attached to this one, might be the read write line. I don't know how I would tell on this one. Oh, right. That's going to be a weird one because I sent the read-write line over. I stole some other things. So that might have been the read-write line, actually, that I did just remove. Whoops. I do not want to open this cartridge again, so let me just look at the card edge connector. Definition. Cat, I need to clip your nails again. Then you are on my hair. I am looking for CPU. Read write. There's pin 14. But first I have to figure out which ones are which, so let's find ground really quick. Is it this one? That ain't ground. Is it this one? That ain't ground. Is it this one? Oh, you know what? I should really just plug in the cartridge, maybe. It is this one. Okay, so ground is over here. Over here, I said, Mr. Cartridge. Yes, there we go. Which means that, well, there are potentially two grounds. I think there's a ground on the other side, so let's see if I am screwing up. Yes, there is. So I'm potentially screwing up. So I should have found ground, actually, on the other one. Okay, let's find the 5-volt supply then, because that one is only on one side. Hey, there you go. I said good beep to you, sir. Make sure it's not something crazy. No. Okay, so 5 is on the top over here, which means pin 1 is over here. Which means pin 14 is, 13 inboard of that. Okay, come on, Studio Lights, and help me out. Studio Lights, yeah. Oh, God. Okay, no, cat is going on the ground. Thank you, though. Worm said Tom, not Tom. Ramen Bo said Toto, not Toto. Good names all around, but incorrect. Just gonna open the cartridge. It's the right thing to do. It's the same thing to do. It is the here's my tool thing to do. Here is my tool. Maybe not a thing you should just say out of context on the internet. Okay. All right. Show me your secrets. Which one is the read-write thingy? Read-write thingy. Read-write thingy. It's you. Oh, I guess I could also just do 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wait, that says it's ROM select. Are you... Oh. Pfft. No. What? What? Oh. Sorry, I'm reading things wrong. That is not ROM select. It just looks like ROM select. Anyway, CPU read write. Is that... Yes, that is connected. So, is that you? Is that you, Mr. Pin? Yes, okay. So I did unwire, what was that, like SRAM chip select or whatever it was. So that we want to keep. Cool. Let's just double check that over here. Cool, yes, that is attached to the chip over here. Perfect. What else? So the rest should be like address lines and stuff. Let's see. So again, floppy. Floppy. EEPROM chip select is probably this guy. Is it? No, can't be. That's gotta be, I don't know, we'll figure out what that is. Is this an address line? That looks like an address line. Is this an address line? No, that was a floppy thing. This an address line? No, that is also a floppy thing. How many things go to this floppy? I'm going to have to re-review the Kubel. Where does this go? That is a floppy thing. I have a bunch of floppy things. I should have a reset. I should have a chip select. What else should I have? Apparently something. Anyway, that should be in the Kubel, but it looks like it's all going to the floppy controller. So that is figured. That is all figured. One of these is figured. This is something. Why am I not just looking at the Kubel? Am I what am I even doing? Win Kubel, because that'll tell me exactly where the heck the pins go, or what pins are assigned to what. Where it says he probably doesn't want to be called by his slave name anyway. That is in bad taste, but also that is our household's manner of in bad taste. I shouldn't go any further than that. Just F everyone's eye. I am a very free love liberal. Everybody. I'm an inoffensive guy. Don't come at me. I love everyone. Everyone is good. What am I even looking for? Is it ROM FDC mapper? Yes, it is. Okay, so we have clock, program, chip enable, which should still be connected up just fine. And then the read write. Oh, and I'm going to turn the clock off because I'm not going to use that for anything anymore. SRAM, chip enable. Right, that was the one we removed, and that was on pin 4. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. That seems removed. Then pin 5 is A11. Oh. And okay, so that was clock, which I removed. Program chip enable, which is there, but shouldn't be attached to anything. Oh, wait. Now I'm trying to remember. Oh my goodness. Okay, we stole the read-write line. Yeah, 'cause that's there, right? Yes, NES read-write. Okay, I'm just gonna plow ahead, but I don't remember off the top of my head why we used SRAM chip enable versus. Oh, because it specified a range of addresses that we needed access to. That's right. Right. Because the addresses weren't available to us because of the mapper. Right. Okay. Anyway, so that's connected to nothing. And for a second I was worried that my read-write signal was not connected correctly, but we just tested that. It is. So 5 is A11. 1, 2, 3, 5. That looks correct. Doesn't matter right now, I'm not going to use it, and it is actually NES A11, just as a reminder to myself. And that was it for inputs, apparently. Okay, alright. And we had... Oh, right, because the floppy has separate read and write signals. That's right, because it's made for a x86 bus. That makes sense. Cool. So that's all fine. And all dandy. And... yeah, if I just reprogram this with this canceled out, commented out, removed. Then rebuild it and put it on there. Don't have to worry about the clock stuff anymore. Save that, we'll rebuild that in a second. And that means I think we're good. I think I'm good to button this thing back up, because I just need read-write, ROM select. Well, I don't even need read-write. I just need ROM select. I guess read-write so that I only output from the ROM when we are, reading. But everything else is wired up in such a way that I'll update this a little bit more to not, try to activate the floppy and mostly just pass things directly through. But yeah, cool. I think that buttons up a lot of stuff. Is this the right way? Cool, it is. Yes, so my goal for tonight, with my remaining about half an hour, is let us update the Kubel. See if we can boot some code. Do my good old-fashioned does the read from the controller input and write to the controller latch, whatever it was reading. Loop. So that we can tell if it is alive. Or, something. There'd probably be a way to do, like, audio output, too. That's a thought. And I would love to learn how to program the audio chip as a music-adjacent dude. And I have lost a bolt. Haha, first try. So that's a thought. That is a thought. But I don't know if that's too much of a pain in the booty. People who have done NES programming before, let me know if just, like, turning on a single square wave channel is a pain in the booty. Alright, we're getting close. I have no idea what that accent is. Hi. Here we go. Preemptively plug this in because I'm excited. Perfect. All right. Now, doing some Koople. Let us code. Again, I'm basically just going to be passing things through. So. Oh, Trey says, howdy. I'm traveling from work. Hello from NYC. Good old NYC. I don't have a recommendation of a place that you should go for me off the top of my head, but we had our New York friends out here. Those are the people we had here this weekend. Or we had New York people. We don't just have the one. I used to live in New York. We have lots of New York people. But yeah. Where you at? Are you just in Manhattan? In the city, as they say? It's good times. Spent most of my time in Queens. Very underrated, but also, you know, probably going to get just as gentrified as Brooklyn, which... Who even knows the morality on that one? But now I'm back in Michigan, so I'm not part of the problem. In Soho. Go over to the Village and do something. I could never remember where Soho actually is, because I never spent that much time in Manhattan. But the Village is always a hoot. Go to the Comedy Cellar. It actually is really good. So I don't care about any of the floppy stuff. Let's just do this. Yoop. Oh boy, using this crappy keyboard. Better mouse than the other keyboard, because you know it's just a trackpad, so that's not so bad. Not so bad. But you know, I don't have any editing keys, so not great. There we go. You got the old function back and forth. That works pretty okay. So we are just going to set these all to... Oh god, what did you have to do to set constants here? Was it like... You had to specify it as a binary number, if I remember correctly. But is that the format? I don't know. We're going to find out. So all of the floppy drive control shit is just hard-coded to not do anything with the floppy controller. And the ROM chip enable is just going to be... That should be right. This seems very odd, honestly. Did I do this? Why did I do this? Or I guess, rather, how could I do this? But yeah, this is, I guess this is already how it should be. Oh, right, because it was more complex before, but then when we realized that we can't, you know, write to anything in the ROM space with the Super Mario Bros. 3 cartridge, this got resimplified back to just this, because the ROM effectively took up the whole program space for ROM stuff, and the floppy drive went into the program RAM space. Right. Okay, well then, it already pretty much does what I needed to. All right. We will improve this next time. However, this is the code for the programming thingy. Let us compile it. 4 warnings. That's fine. Intermediate variable not assigned an expression, OB1. Well, okay, so apparently that is not how you write binary things in Koople. What was it? Was it like B apostrophe? It was something weird. Or like apostrophe B1? For Christ's sake. Uh-huh. Oh, because it thinks it's a string. Brilliant. I swear there was an apostrophe involved, but I'm probably wrong. We'll look it up in a second here. Now it's 3 errors. Very good. So that wasn't it. It's time to turn to the internet. Or anybody in chat who is, yeah. Says, visit the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now that's legit. Go get yourself the cheesiest pizza. Trey says, we had Chinese tonight, Peking duck, yum. I don't think for all my time, and I do love Chinatown, I don't think I ever actually got a proper Peking duck. Sad day. But my scene, well, our scene was more going to Flushing and getting some Joe's soup dumplings. That's the shit. Not that a Peking duck is not the shit. Percent sign, really? Thank you, Trey. We'll see about that. Is it percent B1 or just percent 1? Trey, I'm seeing 3 errors, bro. I am seeing 3 errors up in this bad boy. Invalid syntax. About that. Quote B, quote 0, Jesus. We had Joe's Pizza for lunch yesterday. You know what's really funny? So, I don't know why I never particularly meant, like, I don't care people knowing, like, roughly where I'm from. And I don't think I ever really mentioned before. Like I've said, I'm in Michigan, kind of Detroit-ish. But I'm just south of Ann Arbor, which, you know, people would know if you're into potentially football and stuff. That's where University of Michigan is. And bizarrely, we have the only Joe's Pizza outside of New York. And the wild thing is, it opened like 6 months after I moved back to Michigan from New York. How effed up is that? Anyway, you can't get a good slice outside of New York. But that said, in New York, Joe's is overrated. Sorry. Like, enjoy it. It's still a good slice. It's a New York slice, but it's overrated. There are so many. Like, a Two Bros pizza is, in my opinion, better than Joe's. Anyway, warnings? Anything good? Oh, that's the old header warning. So I think that built fine. I think Wereworm saved me. Trey, I'm sure you were looking at some other dialect or something. Kupel is stupid. It's incredibly stupid. So I guess I do recommend Two Bros if you just want to compare, because for like a dollar slice or whatever it's at these days, it's pretty friggin' good. But I'm glad we have a Joe's here. We also have a Shake Shack for some bizarre reason. I mean, but it was like one of the only Shake Shacks. I think we had a Shake Shack before Detroit had a Shake Shack. So I brought New York back with me. So I think we're done. I think we can just program now. Pop the old chippy out of the thingy. Poor Chip hasn't had this done to it in, God, probably a month. I mean, goodness, how long ago was VCF now? VCF was like, that was, memorably it was September 11th. I guess we forgot. I'm sure, yeah, anyway. So Jesus, yeah, it's been like a month and 2 weeks. Oh my lord. Trey said $10 slice. And Houston had a Shake Shack in 2018. Now, Shake Shack, I will say, I don't go there often. Because it's expensive as balls. I mean, for fast food. Like, it's just so close to not really being worth it. But it is. It's worth it. But still, to spend like, you know, $40 feeding 2 people or whatever, it's sometimes not worth the trouble. But it's probably my favorite burger joint. I cannot lie. Is this an unused USB port? Sorry about all the bumps. So yeah, Shake Shack, good call. Get yourself a Boston Lager. Boston Lager? Brooklyn Lager. That's the place. That's the one that's in New York. Programmer is in. Let us run the programmer software. What is it called? Oh my god, what is it called? Oh, freaking hell. Come on, man. Has it really been this long? Has it really been this long since I was doing this? And it's not going to be in this list. XG Pro, that's what it was. That's how long it's been. And that's how I can prove to you that I have not been messing around with this in the meantime. I have no clue what I'm doing. And I've forgotten it all. But it actually seems to be in ATF-16 V8B mode, so that's nice. We got that going for us. 11.1. That's what this says. Oh my god! Oh my god, it is! It's November. Jesus Christ! I was talking about it being like late October, and it's been however long since VCF. No, it's November 1st. Holy ball sacks. Anyway, time keeps on slipping into the future. Let's program this bad boy. And then the next step is update our assembly to just do some kind of... Let's look at audio programming really quick. I don't anticipate actually following through with it, but I mean, we got a little bit here, and I feel fairly confident about what we've done so far. To the point that if it doesn't look too challenging, maybe there's a chance. Yeah, we've talked about this before. Where CPU 133 claps, and I'm touched, but I don't know what word clap. Oh, was that when I got the compile to work? Whatever. I'll take a clap. It doesn't matter why. And Werewolf was saying, you talked about this before, never used Kupl, but I might need to for my ISP LSI 2064. The latest software requires a license now. And I think it always did, because I'm sure you're using ISP lever, because that's what I have to use for my 1024s that I used for the 68. I used for the projects that I've shown on this channel so far. Yes, but if I remember, I had to get a license for that, and I don't remember if there was like a license gen that they offered, because like they don't care anymore, but it still does physically require a license. So I can't remember. I think I had to call / email in to get a license, and I had to do that like twice, and I don't think they do that anymore. I've been too lazy to do it. I just keep setting my clock back because I don't care, and it works. Oh yeah. So good luck with that. That's my suggestion, is email them. I'm sure there's someone deep in the bowels who's like, yeah, sure, here you go. But even then, if you get the oh Jesus, Wareham says now the license is $300. So double check that you are using ISP lever, because you might be. This may all be, maybe the ISP lever. They're using it again. It's $300, but ISP lever is like their super old software, like Windows 3.1 era software. And it's for that reason that I don't think they care about licensing it anymore, but it still requires a license. But it does theoretically do Verilog, VHDL, and Able, which Able is kind of like Kupl. It's pretty similar. But that's what I've been using. So that's been my experience. Don't know if maybe it would strike me as weird if they went from basically making it abandonware to making it licensed for $300 again, but check out ISP lever. Now, I don't know if they still have it listed on their site. I might be able to get it to you. We can talk. Because presumably I'd still have the install shit on there. Anyway, this is programmed. This is back in the thing. Let's code. Yes, let's do that. Right, we were going to look at audio hardware. Please be easy. Please be super duper easy. What is that part called? Because I know it's the part of the CPU... I don't know. Sound registers. That seems promising. APU registers. They're write only, blah, blah, blah. Cool, that's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh man, is the pulse channel literally just a reprogrammable timer? Like a reprogrammable countdown timer? That's... I was going to say brutal, but it's not that brutal. Excuse me. Let's look at APU stuff and see if they have like a simple reference. APU basics. Covers the usage of the APU's 4 waveform channels on an NTSC NES. It does not cover the DMC or more advanced usage. Not that I need it. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it has 2 pulse channels, a triangle channel, a noise channel, and the sample playback, which they are not covering. They begin at 4,000, and they each have 4 registers. Before using the APU, first initialize all the registers to a known value that silences all channels. They've got a whole nice thing here. I guess I can potentially just steal this. And doodly-doodly-doo. Determine the raw period for a given frequency in hertz. Use this formula. Okay, so it's got 2 registers that are the raw period. So that's like the countdown, and then duty cycle. So if I just want to do a square wave, that is going to be 1011, and then volume is the last 4. So I think I'd just do 10111111 to 4,000 to do that. In fact, I'm not going to fuck with the initialization stuff, because, like, my NES obviously doesn't make sound in the first place when I turn it on. Actually, I don't know that, because I don't stream that. I might have to set that up. But yeah, so it looks like I just have to calculate the frequency I want, which I'll probably do like an A440. And they are literally giving me an A400 right here. I'm just gonna steal all this. So I will do the reinitialization and then do this. I'm just going to steal this directly. Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Cut and paste code bros. Do I have... No, I don't have Visual Studio Code open. Let's do that. That is not... I'm used to working on my Mac. Whoops. Code. Copy this shit. Copy it up. And this is our entry point. I guess we can do a bunch of this initialization. Doesn't really matter. It's just gonna get garbage for all the tile data. Blah 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 blah. None of this really matters. Filling the attribute table, which again doesn't really matter. We can remove all of our MMC3 shit. That's fun. Should I right now? Is it worth it? Let me work it. Gone. It is gone. It's good. I mean, I switched this to actually being a Git repo now, so it's not like I can't get that back. Fill it with blank tiles, which is, I mean, it'll be the same garbage over and over and over again. That's all fine. Keyboard, whatever. Oh! I could have it, like, wait for a keyboard press and then turn the thing on and off. That's a thought. Oh, that's also going to be a fun thing that we have to do, is the mirroring. Because we have to handle that ourselves. That's more fun hardware stuff to deal with. But anyway, MMC3 doesn't exist, so just friggin' delete all of this. There we go. I'm not going to use this anymore. And yes, so here I shall to-do testing, or maybe test, remove, test, remove, and what do I want to do here? I'm going to actually write this as a sub, the way that they have given it to me, so... Nope, whoops. Insert. Control V. Cat wants my attention. Poor guy. Init APU. Cool. This should all be fine. Hey. Hey. I've had it with you. I've had it. I'm just going to rename these because I am a paranoid person. Yes, let's call that that. This is actually kind of nice. He hasn't been the friendliest with me right now, or recently. But is this really the time? Init APU loop. Re-indent this garbage. Skip some shit. Rename this. APU regs. I believe that that is a supported directive. So that's that. And I guess I can put this after the in APU thing. Because I'm just thinking, like, if it doesn't take up too much space, like, you can just keep this. Maybe move it a little bit, but why not, right? I'm not. I mean, I'll be stealing BASIC and stuff, so it's, you know, I'm not above stealing the code off of their website. But I'm not going to call that directly. I am going to get these. I'm also going to take this this guy. And I'm going to make this a sub as well. And I'm just going to, like, make it a sub called, like, turn on. Let's do that. Play square A. There we go. And RTS. And then I will also make a silence square. Or maybe just call it silence pulse 0. And that will be loaded. Oh, is that what you were looking at, Trey? That's the syntax for CA64. I see where that was coming from now. So we'll just keep it as a square wave. Those are fixed, and then this is the volume. So doing that should just turn the thing off. Oh, and probably store it. That's not a bad idea either. Store A to the config register for that sound channel, and then RTS. There we are. Yeah, that's a thing. And let me see if my speakers work. Yes, they do. Because what I would like to do then is write this. Let's see, did I init the keyboard? Oh boy. Did I init the keyboard before this? Because that is... Yeah. Yeah, we did init the keyboard. Whatever. I believe it will think it initialized the keyboard if it's running the emulator. So I don't think I have to care about that. But yeah, what I was getting at is I'm going to maybe just set this up to run in the emulator in the first place, just to test that it, should work, and then update it a little bit and program it and see what we get. Isn't that right, Bubba? Isn't that right? So, we're just gonna, I guess, init, or JSR init APU. Man, I'm really happy that this is gonna be this simple, hopefully. Because sound, I love sound. JSR init APU, and then JSR play square A, and then for the moment we're just gonna hang. Let's call this APU test hang. I don't know, let's just use a full fat jump. Who cares? APU test hang. All right. Do you trust me? Oh yeah, the fun thing is that with the way that this build system works, it's still gonna be using the Super Mario Brothers 3 junk. The character ROM and what have you. So that will be fun. But yeah, let's frickin' do this thing. What was my script called? Link.ps1. Yes. Please work. Please work! You can do it. I believe in you. What are people saying? Oh, it looks like it worked. Well, before we try it in the emulator, Trade MC says, yes, let us. And that APU is easy so long as you don't use the digital sample thing, which requires constant tending. I am the man of constant tending. I have some samples for to play. Worm says, $5.90 for 12 months. My guess is the Verilog VHDL part was not native by then and they needed to license it themselves. Oh, that might explain some shit, because I have mentioned this before long ago. The Verilog and VHDL do not work on my system. It does complain about license shit when I do that. So I thought maybe my license was broken, but maybe it's that there is a free license that they will generate for you that does not turn on those features. Maybe that's what you should look up, because that would make a lot of sense, because that's why I've had to use Able for everything, because I cannot use the compilers for Verilog and VHDL. That's probably why. Trey said cargo Colton with my cutting and pasting. And that is crazy. Re-wereworm, which yes it is. Dave said mirroring is easy. It's wire CI RAM A10 to one of PPU A10 or PPU A11. Yeah, I knew it was fairly easy, but I didn't know the details. So, cool. I will keep that in the back of my head. Wereworm says, well, Cat hears you talking to him. There's no one there, so you must be talking to him. I guess that's fair. Dave says, at least your cart doesn't beep out, you idiot, in Morse code. Did you legitimately program that into your NES? Because if so, top points. Dave says, now you have cursed yourself. And Trey said, meow for the cat reappearance. So, let's emuladora this shit, eh? And I still don't know exactly what I'm gonna do about actually getting the audio out of this thing. I will probably go steal a pair of standalone speakers, because my video capture thing for this does do audio, but never tried to use it with OBS, and I'll just plug it in the speakers. Okay, FCE, ux.exe. File, open some stuff right here. Basic.nes. I don't know why it's grabbing that. Oh, because I deleted all the MMCT things, so the character map is all not mapping the areas I would expect. Well, that seems consistent with what I would expect. Shall we dance? Again, I think this might be fairly redundant because this should work. Because we should see the screen clear to some kind of garbage tile. I'm curious. I mean, surely the bus isn't just floating for the PPU bus. Surely not. But it would be cool if it was just a bunch of sparkly bullshit, because it's reading just floating pixels that are coming from space. But no, surely they will be constant. But still, we set up the tiling to have the same tile all over the screen, so we should see that. So hearing the sound is just a silly bonus. Silly boners. But anyway, let's let it rip. Let's program that shit. And it is a 29E010. Yes, I remembered it for once in my life. Don't check ID. Load up some stuff. Browse for some things. Basic.bin. Yes, we are back in the groove. Offset 1000. Okie doke. Progy doke. Prog it up. So the fun thing, now we have tons of ROM space if this is set up correctly. Of course, I don't need tons of ROM space anymore, but, you know, that's still fun. Anyway, so that programmed. So now it is what it is. We have no more excuses. Only gripping and ripping. And if you think this is going to work on the first try, then you're a very nice person. And yes, we are still using the power supply because, well, you know, I ripped the connector off of the brick I was using, so kinda gots to. And this should still be plugged into the thing. Oh, here. That would be a better screen at this point. Alright, so this should be connected up to the capture thingy. I think. And then for audio, yes, let us, again, just use some speakers. I have some PC speakers over here, but do I have the brick? Perhaps not, I fear. Nice classic set of these generic Dell bad boys, if you were wondering. And the question is, which channel is that speaker? Is it left? Is it right? The answer may surprise you. Will these 12-volt speakers run on 9-volt? Probably. Will this plug in? That is another question entirely. That feels unlikely. But we have to try. We must try. Now I need a figure 8 plug. That is what I need. figure of 8 plug found. We are firing on all cylinders tonight, folks. Let us build up that tension a little bit, because I hear somebody tramping on down the stairs. Give me a quick moment to speak to this important person. Our sponsor, in fact. All right, good news. We have been renewed for another 10 minutes. That's for the record. My wife is not giving me a hard stop. She's just letting me know she is going out briefly. Right. Power? No. That did not work even remotely. Oh, wait. Yeah, I don't like that. I have a freaking thing for this, and I don't know where it is. Because I share it among many various different things. And I don't know what the last thing that I used it for was, but I have a nice 12-volt supply kicking around somewhere. Somewhere. Chat says... Oh, Trey says, it is the left channel. Okay, Trey, we'll see about that. Dave said, don't call me Shirley. Oh my god, I missed a fair amount. Because Dave was saying one of the test ROMs he was using to figure out his problems beeps out error codes in Morse code. Ah, okay, you were using a debug ROM. Gotcha. He says, NES Discord hardware channel with some help. Ooh, that seems like a community I should know about. Trey said, yes, Lettuce Ranch, as I have said already. And Dave said, PPU bus floating will likely read back the low address bits since they are multiplexed. Interesting. Haha. Fascinating. Well, that might be interesting. CPU address bus internally is multiplexed, so you get to see some weird register stuff in between address cycles for multiple cycle instructions. Fuskanooting. And I'll come back and read some more in a second. Once I have found 12 volts. 12 volts of power. So I have no idea if you could hear that, but that was the soothing sound of my cat yakking on the floor. So I have to figure out where he was doing that. Good job, bud. Good job. Stop eating plastic. And then the other fun part of the story is you see this thing? This is the thing that I got the frickin' figure of 8 plug from. And it's a 12 volt supply. So yeah. Classic me making things hard on myself. There we go. Works fine. You can't see it. Lights on. Yeah, so you want to just hit power on this bad boy? You want to just hit power on this bad boy? You want to just make sure your things are hooked up right first and then hit power on this bad boy? You want to make things harder on yourself than they need to be weeks ago and then hit power on this bad boy? Is that what you want to do? Well, here's one thing. Never plugged that speaker in. It's the right channel, Trey. Trey, you are usually on it. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Unless I have these wired up backwards, which is totally possible. It's just making a wonderful buzzing noise, which is fun. It's actually kind of fascinating. Only when I plug it into the NES. Probably because of horrible grounds. Well, that is what it is. Uh-huh. 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 No. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What does the video capture say? God damn you, OBS. Video capture says, I am not working. Hold. Okay, so that looks pretty much like what you would expect if it were not working. So I think from this we can conclude that it is not working. Let us check our voltages. Voltage, as they say in France. En France. Okay, I think that looks like a good 5-ish volts. So, you know, it's just effed. It's all effed, you know? Interestingly, unless I've got this backwards, which I probably do, wait. No, I did. We got 5 volts over here on that chippy. So now, the question is just, is this cart even making decent contact in the first place? Which I kind of... It doesn't feel great, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know. And we're out of time to debug this thing, which is unfortunate for everyone. Yeah, I don't really have time to screw with it. So, it is what it is for the moment. And we're just going to have to figure some shit out next time. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to read a little bit of chat, and then I'll get out of here, because we are 18 minutes over. But thankfully, I'm doing this on a Tuesday, so the weekend is coming nigh. And we shall do more, and maybe get the character ROM working this weekend even, because I'm sure this is very close to working. But finishing this up, Worm says, "Have you seen the YouTube video about the Chinese NES?" Here, let's do this. I know you like seeing my big shiny face. Worm said, YouTube video about the Chinese NES clone with the integrated floppy. No, I forgot you had mentioned that, but it does now occur to me. I remember you saying that, which is insane. That is an insane thing. Marketed as a learning computer with keyboard and happens to have a Famicom, I assume that was supposed to say card slot. I know I've seen, there was somebody who was doing videos on weird Chinese Famiclones, and I remember seeing one, at least one, that they did that was like a keyboard unit, you know, like a classic wedge type deal with a NES slot. But I don't remember having a floppy drive, so I must know about this. And Werewolf says it's the SB 2000 8-bit computer, so I think we're going to find one of these. They probably cost a friggin' buttload. Trey says I have the power and that he is 0 for 2 tonight. Sorry, Trey, you can't win them all. You can't win them all. For example, this doesn't work. But, you know, did we expect it to work? And Dave says, welcome to my personal hell. Look, Dave. Your problems are worse than mine. That's all I have to say. Sorry, bud. Wareham said, floating address lines on the ROM, the upper ones. Oh my god. Damn it, Wareworm. Damn it, you are almost certainly correct. Fuck. Now I have to do it. It's gonna take extra time, and... damn it. But it's just that it's gonna take not enough extra time for it not to be worth it. So yeah, what were those? God damn it. You're probably 100% correct. It's probably just that. Ah! I'm so angry. Not that you called it, that like now that's very probable and fixing it is not going to take that long. Classic me. Just saying things and then never getting back to them. Incredibly classic. Trey says save it for next time. No! 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 It's too late! It is too late to apologize. It's too late. Oh, let me get this frickin' pinout back up here. It's only like 3 or 4 wires. It will not take much time at all. Come on, pinouts. Where did you go? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Pin out, Joe. No, this is still wrong. I was right the first time. So it was everything above... It was just 15 and 16, right? Because 15 exists, but isn't on the card, and we're ignoring that because it's in the ROM select signal, and 16 is non-existent regardless. So it's just 2. It's so easy. So easy. And that is on pin 2. And I don't even have clippers today. I can't find my clippers. How sad is that? Oh, actually, you know what? I'll go the other direction. And I will connect them to the right enable and power pins. I have a nice 5-volt glob going on there. Let's see if I can actually cut this, or if it just is gonna poop on me. Hey, world's worst scissors, still got it going on. And zoop, and snoop, and kitty cat. And that probably needs more solder, which I had at one point in my life. I didn't put it back in the drawer. I am getting mildly more organized, but not that more organized. There we go. Get a glob of solder and glob it on in. That is what you get when you're gonna begin making some NES bullshit. Making some NES bullshit. Okie doke. That was A16 and A15, and we will try it again. I still don't hold out much hope, but I am excited, and that's the only thing that matters. Question is, will I actually be able to get all of these wires on here at the same time? All right, and that should just be the next one down. Yes, it is. I'm making this the world's most overkill wire because really I just needed to bridge 2 pins. Whoops. Oh well. Okay, peepholes. That's it. I'm not doing anything more than that. That was already too much. But I'm still excited. Okay, where did my capture window go? Is this? It's this one. Oh, now I have the hiccups. This is fun. We're having fun. We're having a fun time. Oh my lord, come on. There we go. Sorry, you can't see me trying to snap windows, but it's a thing that I'm doing. Hey, that seems to be a thing that's working. I should be more excited, but I'll be fully excited when I plug this in and it does something besides this. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Like that looks like it's gonna be finally correct, but I actually wonder. Huh. No. Because that wire doesn't have great grounding. Interesting. Okay, let's try one more thing. Which is letting that touch ground. Oh, you can't. Well, you can kind of see it right there. I am just resting the shielding on the shielding. Good enough. Oh! Whoa! It was just turned down so far because that bad grounding sound was real bad. Trey, you're 1 for 2. It was the left channel. It was. Good call. You were right. I mean, that does make sense. And it was just because it was very quiet, and the grounding is messed up on that connector. I bet. Oh no, it's not that messed up apparently. All right, there you go. It works perfectly. 100%. Bye. No, that's that. Super freaking cool. Super freaking cool. And like I said, it is in fact showing some nonsense there. Because PPU. Yep. That's fun. So it is just floating. Neat. I'm poking pins on the back of the cartridge connector. Super friggin' sweet. I got a thumbs up from Wereworm, and that's all I need. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for helping me get my shit working. That was this close. I really didn't expect it to work even after that. So that is freaking dope. So we have ROM hooked back up. Now we need to figure out our freaking addressing scheme here, getting the SRAM and the floppy controller mapped. And we need to get the character ROM figured out, which will probably be the next thing because we have program ROM, so we can start throwing some characters on the screen. And the character ROM should be pretty easy. It's just that figuring out how to put it in the cart. And also, now that I might still just be able to use a... Yeah. There are a few things that we can think about here, because maybe I can turn this off for you. Using the 138 for decoding might be reasonable now, depending on how wide the PPU bus is. I'm not even gonna look that up right now. I was gonna, but it's narrower, or the PPU address bus. It's narrower than I was thinking it was, and I forgot that. So maybe there are only 3 pins we need to decode. That would be sick. That would solve that problem. And then what else? What else? I don't think there's much else for the character ROM. The setting it up to be able to be programmable on the cartridge. That is what is up. That's going to be a whole thing. And I don't want to think about it right now. So I will see you guys this weekend, where we will get character ROMs working. And everyone says we have beep. On that note, let me go back to face cam. It's worth it. On that note, thank you guys for stopping by. And as always, I will see you. I love you. Goodbye.